Welcome to Season 7 of the VET S.O.S podcast. Remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S Lifeline. As we started planning and preparing for Season 7, we realized that, you know what, we better call Tyrone. What better way to kick off the season than with a pillar of our transition community, Season 1 VET S.O.S alumni, and all-around great guy. Today, we're sitting down with the one and only Tyrone Hewitt. I love getting him pumped up beforehand because he's already a little nervous, so this is going to be good. See if he just turns off his camera. But I promise you, if you don't have your pen and paper handy, get it out. Because to this day, we still quote his first episode and things that he said in that one. I'm telling you, Tyrone drops knowledge bombs left and right. So make sure you're taking notes on this one today. And here, as always, I'm here with my partner, Keith. Keith, Season 7. Can you believe it, man?
Dude, at this point, we're basically like the NCIS of podcasts. Like, we're still here, we're still unsupervised, and somehow we keep getting renewed. So I'm going to ride as long as we can.
That's a fantastic analogy. I love that one. Oh, man. Yeah. It'd be scary to think which character I am and which one you are.
Oh, you know. Can I pick? If I know who I'd pick, but
all right, who would you pick?
I don't remember her name. The goth. The goth forensic chick. I know it's weird because I'm a guy.
Oh, yeah.
She always seems so badass. I'm like, I'd be like the male version of her.
Yeah, see, I would have to go to I'd have to go to NCIS LA. You know, and what was the lead character there? I can't remember his name. The guy played Robin in one of the Batman movies.
Oh yeah.
LL Cool J's partner.
Yep.
I like the way he operated. I'd probably go that route. I mean, I'd have to, you know, play the role on my knees, but you know, that's a whole different story. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm playing a girl, so I mean, come on.
All right. Well, if we're going to be doing this, and you know, no offense, and I'm going to use a girl as an example, Tyrone, but I would think you would be Hetty, you know, from the LA show, because she knew everything and she was everywhere, man. That's you to a T, I think.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Outstanding. All right, so we got Tyrone Hewitt. He's a retired Navy veteran who is passionate veteran advocate and transition readiness leader committed to empowering service members, veterans, and military spouses as they navigate life after the uniform. With years of experience supporting the military community, Tyrone specializes in career development, VA and DoD benefit education, and mentorship. Known for his energetic delivery and practical guidance, he creates programs and content that simplify complex processes and help veterans build confidence in their next chapter. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. I think, well, I say this, but as we change seasons, but going from fall to winter, you know, Thanksgiving to Christmas, it's one of my favorite times of the year.
Oh yeah. It's a great time of year, but it's also one of those times of years where, you know, as our community, there's a lot of, you know, we got to look out for each other. You know, we got to reach out and check on them. And if nothing else, it's a great reminder that this time of year we got to look out for our brothers and sisters for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so you know, for those of you, those in the audience that maybe haven't seen the first episode, maybe haven't talked to you yet, which if you haven't talked to Tyrone yet, you need to get on his calendar. I'm telling you right now. But let's go through your transition story again real quick and just you know talk to us about how your transition went.
Yeah, no, that's good. So coincidentally, about 8 years ago to this day, I was on the last, 30, 45 days of being active duty before I went into terminal leave. You know, what's interesting is I like to tell a lot of people, and I just had this conversation with somebody earlier this week, you know, granted, people may see me in my job, they may see me on LinkedIn or Facebook. My transition wasn't as together as it could have or should have been, right? So December of 2018, still a lot of scrambling, right? Trying to figure out which direction I want to go, starting to apply for jobs, trying to figure out my VA, and all these other things, right? So, you know, I say that because, you know, I don't want people to assume that transition is going to be perfect or always smooth. That's why your podcast exists. That's why things like Act Now Education exist, to help get that information and resources to people who need it. And in very many cases, when they don't realize they do need it. Because unfortunately, and both of you may may have run into the same circumstance. Sometimes we don't know we need something until it's already too late. We're like, oh man, I wish I would have known about this a year ago or 3 months ago. So this podcast and a lot of these groups are out here, Act Now Education. The goal is to kind of do what I would call prevention, right? Getting ahead of the curve. That way, you're not, that way we're not losing out on benefits and things that can make our life into the civilian world a lot easier.
No, that's fantastic advice. And, I think I get made fun of for the level of planning I put into things. Like, you want me to do a Christmas dinner? I'm breaking out a spreadsheet.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, you know what? Let me touch on that. What's interesting, and you're right. So we in the military, we spend a lot of time planning, training, missions, all these other things. And what's interesting, and I use this joke quite often, a command or whoever's running a command party for a Christmas party or holiday party for a command, we will spend months planning for that, right? You have a plan of action and milestones. You're trying to figure out what's the location, what's the menu, what are the hours, who's going to be the DJ, what kind of music are we playing, what kind of gifts are we doing? Are we doing door gifts? Are we going to put something underneath it? Months. But when it comes to transition, unfortunately, a lot of us, we don't take that same attitude. We don't take that same mentality. It's like, hey, I'm going to get my DD-214. I'm going to figure it out. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to figure it out is not a good way to go into a transition.
Knowledge bomb number 1. There we go. I'm telling you, it's amazing to me how many people don't even attempt to have a plan getting out.
Yeah.
And, you sit there and you have those conversations with them and you're like, did you must have never sat in a command brief. 'Cause
Yeah.
the number of PowerPoint
Yeah.
slides we've had to go through and turn from red to yellow to green. It's like,
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
some planning into it and it'll work out. So that's fantastic, man. So once you left the military and, you made that decision to continue to support, veterans and work with veterans. So, what kind of things are you into now?
Still the same thing. Obviously, every branch has a service department or an organization that helps individuals, non-clinical counseling, finances. That's the big thing that I do. But a large part of the programs I'm involved with is a group called Act Now Education. Um, I started tracking this organization years ago. Years. Facebook, kind of seeing what Jay was putting out, and I'm like, man, this is some really good stuff. And what's interesting is when he and I finally spoke, it blew my mind that he was still active duty. His amount of knowledge and commitment to getting information out. And when he and I spoke, and what's interesting is he sent me a message on Facebook and said, "Hey, do you have time to talk?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have time right now." So we spoke for about, man, we probably spoke for about an hour. And there aren't very many people I talk to that sort of kind of make me nervous in a sense that, man, this guy's thinking big. I got off the phone. I was like, man, I don't know if I don't know if I can be part of this organization. And then we spoke again that night, or we spoke twice in one day. Um, and I was trying to figure out what can I do to help people expand or improve their transition. And I knew at that point, Act Now Education was probably one of those groups that was committed to assisting not just transitioning service members, but veterans and spouses and veteran spouses and stuff like that with valuable information, a solid team that's just committed to improving the lives of others.
Oh yeah. And he's still on active duty.
It is so yes. So this is a lot of people. Not only is he active duty, but I think he still may be on sea duty. But a large part of it, he's on sea duty. We have meetings and there are things going on, and he's deployed. Like earlier this year, he was in Singapore. Before that, he was somewhere else. A lot of people don't realize is when they had to withdraw out of Afghanistan, he left his duty station and went to Bahrain. Oh no, I'm sorry. He was at Bahrain at that time, and then he was pulled from his job into the team that was helping bring in refugees and get a lot of things kind of coordinated. So for those of us who worked in a deployed status, you're talking 12, 15 hours easily. He was probably working another 4 or 5 hours on top of his deployment hours. I don't know how I don't know if he sleeps. I'm going to be honest with you.
So he's a vampire is what you're saying. You're
It
dropping the scoop
is.
right now?
Yeah, it is. But that's who he is. Like
Yeah.
he is quite literally walking a walk.
Oh, absolutely. And Keith, when he came on this show, and he also came on the education show, and both of those, I believe, he did from overseas. So I don't even know what the hour difference was when he recorded
Yeah.
them. But what do you think, Keith?
Thinking I can't find my mute button again. No, this is always great stuff. I mean, I followed Tyrone throughout my transition, and I've been blessed to have some talks with him in the past. We live in the same neighborhood, yet I still can't tie him down. I can't get him to show up in person to a meeting. So I'm
I
still
know.
not 100% sure. I'm not talking to an AI bot, but all that to say, even the AI bot's putting out good info. And Act Now Education, yeah, that's another organization. I didn't personally take advantage of, but yeah, it's something. One of those things I'm always pitching out to people. Is
Yeah.
a phenomenal resource, especially in the world I live in, which is cyber and my professional role.
Yeah.
So for all the listeners out, because I still, again, we get a fresh audience of 200,000 plus people every year, right? And so
Wow.
we do tend to say the same things over and over and over, which is I've come to accept. That's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
it is. So consistently coming across people that have never heard of Act Now Education. So for the listeners out there that might be unaware of it, kind of give a broad overview of what Act Now Education does.
Yeah. So Act Now Education, we have a couple things going on, right? So I think one of our main things is providing free resources to service members, veteran spouses that should be aligned towards their career goals. And the reason why I say that is because we provide a lot of free stuff, Coursera, all sorts of stuff. Just because it's free doesn't necessarily mean it's beneficial. And I will have to remind people, I'm like, hey, when I look at what we're doing in life, one of the two things I look at often is time and money, right? How much time and money am I going to spend, and is it going to be a rate of investment, rate of return? Even though we provide something that's free, it doesn't necessarily mean it's for you. Um, but our goal is if we do provide whether or not it's a PMP or Security Plus, or many years ago we did a master's degree program or Coursera, we want to make sure that whatever we're providing helps you in your career goals. Now, I will say there are things that help out just kind of learn. I have a Coursera account. Sometimes I take courses that help me in my role. Sometimes I take courses because um, I want to just learn something new. But there are a lot of organizations out there that will charge you, right? And that's not our goal. Our goal is either provide it with you directly, or some of the partners that we have, they provide us with the funds, and then we obtain those certifications and provide them to the audience for free. That way, I had a client um, through transition years ago, E6 separating, working on her PMP. And one of the first questions I asked her is, well, what program are you using to obtain this? And she told me, I never heard of them. And I was like, well, how much are you paying for this? And it was over $2,000. And I sat back and I was like, man, you know what? There are quite a few things. You could have used Navy Cool, Onward to Opportunity, and $2,000 is a lot of money, right? Whether or not you have it or you don't have it. So those are some of the things that we're trying to help prevent where people are using funds I think it probably best used somewhere else.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah, no, and I love this. You're kind of hitting on the, figure out what you want to be when you grow up, right? And
Yes.
before you just start diving into all these free resources, I mean, you
Yeah.
all tout, over 40,000 free resources. That in and of itself
Yeah.
can be daunting. And so
Yeah.
you have a catchphrase that I love. I'm a big Simon Sinek fan, and and his perspective of start with why and all that kind of stuff. So give our listeners. I love the story behind it, and I love how you frame it. So talk about your why.
Yeah. So several years ago, probably about 7, 8 years ago, I went to an event. So for those of you who are listening, every VA hospital throughout the year, sometimes twice a year, they have a VA homeless stand down. And these VA homeless stand downs allow that VA hospital to bring in bunch of partners, employment agencies, veteran reps. They'll have people come in and they'll provide haircuts and shaves. They'll have portable showers, all sorts of things, food, clothing. And I went to an event, and midway through the event, when we were grabbing lunch that was provided to us, I ran into a guy I used to work with in 2005, 2006. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was devastating, right? Because there were two types of people at this event. Those of us who were volunteering or vendors, and then there were the individuals who were either homeless or at risk, right? So using HUD-VASH. He was not a volunteer, and it broke my heart because he and I worked together, and I was really trying to figure out what led to his situation where he was about to be homeless. And I say that because he was getting HUD-VASH, which means he was getting some supplemental income. But had that gone away, he would have been homeless. Um, and unfortunately, I don't think those stories are uncommon, right? So, with all these resources we can provide, whether it's not, whether it's to help somebody um, obtain sustainable income or income that provides for them and their family, or mental health care, or all these things that they need. I realize that there are those of us in this transition space and this veteran space who can really helps change somebody's life for the better, right? Whether or not it's just a conversation or a phone call or a text or a resource, or even in my case, even though I jokingly say, "Hey, you better call Tyrone," there are quite a few people where I'll say, "Hey, this is the person you need to talk to." They're the ones who can really walk you through. Like cyber's a big one. People will ask me about cyber all the time. I don't know. As you see, I had issues with my camera, so I can't help you in cyber, but I know people who can, whether or not it's a conversation through a pathway in employment or federal employment or anything else like that. But there are those of us in this space I can say, hey, you know what? What can we do to help you? Let me connect you with this person, this resource.
Facts. I say that all the time when it comes to resumes. I'm not the guy.
Yeah.
Don't call me. Oh, that's awesome. So, I mean, Act Now is a phenomenal resource. Just absolutely amazing. And between Act Now, Service, what Service Now? No, not Service Now.
Service to, oh my goodness, I'm going to draw a block.
Okay, so we're making it look bad now. So you got
Yeah.
Boots the Books, you got Act Now, you got Mill
Yeah.
Mentor, and you got
Yep.
Service something. Just an amazing team with them all
Oh,
coming
yeah,
together.
I'm drawing a blank because I've been talking to Service to School these last couple of days, which is another organization that helps individuals with education. Service to Now. Am I drawing a blank? Oh my God, this is
Service
embarrassing.
industry? No, that's not it either.
Nope.
Nope.
That's
No.
that's the industry. B2I. Yeah.
We're butchering them all now. This is gonna be great. We'll
But
alienate everybody in the community.
But you know what that means? That just means that there's a lot of great resources out there for people to
Yep.
utilize.
Great way to put a spin on it.
Yeah. Well,
Service
and
to
therein
success.
lies kind of where I was going. Service to success. There you go. Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
therein lies kind of where I was going with the questioning. So, it's, you talk about finding your why, right? And so, especially in Act Now education, so many resources. It can be overwhelming, I'm sure, for a service member going to be like, oh God. So, how do you support someone who has no idea? How does
Yes.
Act Now education support somebody finding their way?
Yeah. So, that's good. I think one of the things that you brought up is the Mill Mentor program, and that's part of Services to Success. It's, on LinkedIn or any of these social media pages or through conversations, you'll often hear people talk about informational interviews or getting a mentor. And I think that's an important aspect where you're actually having conversations, real life conversations with people who are in these industries, right? You may find a mentor who's in cyber, who's in counseling, who's in the medical world. And then you can ask these questions. You may say, like, and I'll be honest with you, cyber IT is kind of the biggest one because there's so many different pathways and there's so many different certs. I always tell those individuals to talk to a mentor or do an informational interview in that world so they can tell you, yeah, this certificate makes perfect sense for you because this is what you want to do. Or they may say, get this certification and build your foundation and then go to this one because you have something to build off of. And that's important because, we kind of mentioned it earlier. Um, your time and your money, you don't want it to be wasted, right? So those individuals that you're talking to, some of the courses that we have and the mentors that we have can actually give you a plan, a guide, a roadmap that says, hey, this is your A through Z, right? This is your one, two, threes of getting from here to there without sort of kind of scrambling and enrolling in one course. Because I don't think there's anything worse, or there's probably plenty of things that are worse, but spending time and money on something and then there's no return on investment, right? You spend 3, 4, 5 months getting a cert and you're like, this isn't going to do anything for me, right? So those mentors and service to success and a lot of things we can provide can help people make the right choice on the direction that they're going.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
even figure out
absolutely.
that's the path they want to go, right? I can't tell
Yeah,
you how
yeah,
many
yeah,
people
yeah,
that
yeah,
talk to
yeah,
a
yeah,
mentor.
yeah,
That mentor says,
yeah,
hey, yeah, I want to get into cyber. Okay, we'll go get these
yeah,
certifications. And then they get the
yeah,
certification and realize I can't stand doing cyber, So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
and
what's
they're already
interesting is
1, 2, 3 certifications deep in it.
yeah, and you're right about that because sometimes you'll hear people saying, and you're in the federal world. I will hear people say, "Hi, I absolutely want to go federal, or I don't," and I'll always ask them, "Well, why? Why are you avoiding this, or why is this the only absolute?" And then as we have conversations, you can give them a lot more information. Um, that way they can make a better decision. But yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
spot on. Cyber is what I would call cyber and PMP are two of those things that sound really sexy, right? Oh, I'm a cybersecurity analyst, or I'm a program manager. But is that what you really want to do, right? And we all have different things that bring joy to our work day, right? But just because um, your buddy likes it or you see all these threads on LinkedIn or the salary's great. And Alfredo Torres had a really good post yesterday about that, right? And I kind of followed up on it. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Right. Um, and those answers are going to come from the mentors and those individuals and some of the programs that we can provide that can really provide clarifying information on, do I really want to, I'll be honest with you, do I really want to suffer? Right. Um, IT cyber sounds cool, and it is cool, but if you like being in the outdoors and working with your hands, that might not be for you. Or I had a guy years ago. It was interesting. He started this conversation and he wanted to be a counselor or some kind of educator. And then midway through the conversation, he says, well, I don't really like engaging with people. And I kind of stopped back and I'm like, well, this ain't for you, man. Like, you're gonna spend 4 years, get a master's degree in counseling, and then work this job for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta move on."
Even the best, at their craft learn those hard lessons down the road. John Maxwell admits that he was a horrible counselor. So, like at one point, as when he was still a preacher before he became a leadership expert, he
Yeah.
stopped couples counseling because he was horrible at it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah, yeah.
eventually you kind of learn your limitations, what you're good at, what you're
Yeah.
not, what you love, what you don't love.
Yep,
Yep.
yep,
So
yep.
I know we're getting close to ending here. Before we do, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit, and
Okay.
obviously, I know you tell everybody about Act Now, huge resource, great benefit, and
Uh-huh.
I also know that you tell everybody about VET S.O.S because you're a loyal alumni. There you go, you're looking good, looking sharp. Um, what other resources, when you talk to people just in general, do you have a list of resources that you say, hey, check these out, maybe they're for you?
Um, Kinda like you said, I'm really big on podcasts. And one of the reasons why I like podcasts is because you can listen to it on your way to and from work, right? You can watch it on video, and I definitely tell a lot of my clients who come to my office about your podcast because you can learn from other people. Those conversations, that engagement back and forth is an opportunity for a person to say, I haven't heard that, or I wish I would have known this later. Now I can go in this direction. I think one program I'm really a fan of right now um, is there's a program called Service to School. They are and I'm really pro education, right? So they are working through ambassadors and peer groups, peer mentors that are helping people navigate their college pursuits, right? I made a post I don't know, a month ago, several weeks ago. Education is cool. Education free while in your military is also cool. GI Bill cool. But if you don't have any direction, you don't have a peer group or a mentor to kind of help you make sure you're in the right school, right program, right pathway, then you may obtain a wrong degree, right? Or all these other things. So that's something that I'm really, talking to a lot of clients about right now. I think one thing, and right now I'll go back to my Fleeing Family Sports Center hat. One thing that I do find is a lot of service members aren't using their local transition offices. A lot of them offer things post transition, right? Resume
Yeah.
classes, LinkedIn classes, retirement benefits seminar classes. And then depending on where you're at, and Keith and I are lucky because in Hampton Roads, we have a really huge support group, right? Hampton Roads Veterans Center, Roads Veterans Employment Center, high vets now through the state. But a lot of areas still have those American Job Centers, right? You can go American Job Center Finder, put your zip code, and many of those employment offices have um, veteran reps, right? They can help you with your resume. They can help you um, connect with employers in the area. They can help you find money that will pay for training, right? There are a lot of states that are trying to improve employment in certain industries, and there's money that will say, "Hey, we will help you pay for a logistics certification or a safety certification or an IT certification." Right? So it's just, and I think one of you mentioned it earlier, a lot of resources, just kind of finding the right one for you to help you go where you want to get to.
Yep. No, that's fantastic. And Service to School, we've had them on the education show.
Cool.
Fantastic organization. And
Yeah.
I told y'all to take notes. I just learned something new. I didn't know about that center. So I'm gonna have to check
Yeah.
them out, see what they got going on. So
Yeah.
never fails. Tyrone comes in here and drops knowledge. Keith, what do you think? It's time to take us out, man.
I don't want to. I don't want to end this. No, it's always great seeing Tyrone. He's an amazing resource. I'm blessed to have him in my backyard, but on the national, global scale, he's a beast. And so yeah, for those of you listening, as Sean said earlier on, if you haven't called Tyrone, you better. And so I got two last questions for you, Tyrone, as we go out. So
Okay.
first of all, senior leaders, right?
Ooh.
The senior
Yeah.
ones that think that my rank and my security clearance are going to get me a job.
Yeah.
They have a network. What's the one brutally honest, you would tell them that they have to do now? And
I
then
would say,
two, how do people get in touch with you?
okay, cool. So one, yeah, that's good. So, you know, and both of you are probably familiar with this right now. Right now, the job market is tough, right? But I would leave you with the with this when I talk to senior leaders, right? I've worked with plenty of E4s, E5s, E6s who are on that first, second um, contract, and they're going to get out because of the amount of responsibility, because of the amount of people that they led. Their evals can read just as well as an individual who's senior, right? Um, and I say that because, and we've both heard it. Oh, I'm an E9 or I'm an O6. I'm automatically guaranteed this. Nothing's guaranteed, right? It's how well you can translate your skill set from what you did to what you want to do. And it's absolutely going to be about who you know. And somebody made a point about this yesterday. It may not necessarily be about who you know. It's about who knows you, right? Who can say, hey, Keith is on the market, let's bring him in, right? Sean's on the market, let's bring him in, right? So I would say network, have those honest conversations. Don't be scared to reach out to people. There are plenty of individuals who will give you the 10, 15 minutes within a day to have a conversation with your Zoom call, right? Um, but do not let your ego and your pay grade really screw up your transition. That entitlement will leave you
Boom.
off the tracks.
Mic
Right, and
drop.
if you want to, yeah, and if you want to reach out to me, Tyrone Hewitt on LinkedIn, send me a message. Um, Sometimes it's a quick conversation, sometimes it's a 30-minute conversation, sometimes it's just, hey, can you answer this question for me? And I'll give you an answer and a link. But, um, and if I don't have it, I'll just put you in contact with somebody. But definitely LinkedIn.
Awesome. All right, Tyrone, thank you so much for joining us. It was absolutely amazing having you back on the show. And to all our listeners, I know, Sean said it. Take notes. Go back, re-listen to this the second time. Go take notes up from it. It's always great having Tyrone on. And on behalf of the entire VET S.O.S family, we want to thank everyone for spending their time with us. It's always great having you all along for the ride. Don't forget to check out our other episodes and keep coming back for more stories, insight, and support from the VET S.O.S crew. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a follow, share the show, tell a friend or two, tell your battle buddies, fire team, shipmates, and wingmen or throw them, I should say. Toss your battle buddies, fire team, shipmates, and wingmen that flotation device that they need in transition so no one drowns in the sea of transition, and grab the VET S.O.S Lifeline.
That's good.